Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Compensation and Benefits Online Management Classes. This is Dr. Mahesh M. Wanjeri, Assistant Professor from Department of Management Studies, SDM College of Engineering and Technology, Dharwad. Okay, so dear students, I hope you remember that we have started chapter number 3 from unit 3. Okay, so now let me quickly go through the recap of what we learned or what we discussed in previous session, and then I'll make continue from there. Okay, whether the PowerPoint slides are visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so unit 2 deals with internal alignment, determining the structure. So I'd like to recall, okay, that in chapter 1 we discussed about a pay model. Basically, it has three building blocks: objectives, policies, and techniques. Okay, so objectives, okay, with respect to efficiency, fairness, and compliance. Then the four policy choices were related to internal alignment, external competitiveness, employee contribution, and management of the pay system. Okay. So among these, the first among the four policy choices, we have started learning how a company makes internal alignment or how it determines the structure. Okay, so we have started learning about that. So from chapter 3, defining internal alignment. So far what we have learned is, anyway, these are the chapter topics. So compensation strategy. Okay. So what decisions are made with respect to internal alignment? So we have learned issues in a strategic approach, setting objectives, internal alignment. Okay. Then formal definition of internal alignment. So I hope you can recall it is nothing but the organization structure or the hierarchy. Okay. So I discussed the hierarchy of a company Lockheed Martin, okay, an aerospace company from United States of America. So only engineering department, okay, how the internal alignment was made. Okay, so from entry level engineer to consultant engineer. Okay, I repeat once again. Internal alignment, often called internal equity, refers to the pay relationships among different jobs or skills or competencies within a single organization. So internal alignment is the internal structure or hierarchy within an organization. And at each hierarchical level, the compensation differs. Obviously, as you climb up the hierarchical ladder, the compensation or pay increases. That is due to along with your experience and job responsibilities as well as skills. So this is the example that we considered. Okay, the engineering, the internal alignment at Lockheed Martin, only of engineering department. The overall hierarchy or internal structure of Lockheed Martin is quite different. So it is in the beginning so that students can understand. So only the structure of the engineering department at Lockheed Martin is mentioned here. So beginning, okay, at the entry level, the employee will be referred to as an engineer who will have limited use of basic principles and concepts, develops solutions to limited problems and closely supervised. Then he can get promoted to senior engineer, to systems engineer, lead engineer, advisor engineer, and consultant engineer, the highest level within the engineering department at Lockheed Martin. So in the previous class, I also browsed the website of Lockheed Martin to make you understand, okay, then what type of company Lockheed Martin is. Okay, then from here we are supposed to continue. So that is one more term here, pay structure. Okay, so what is the pay structure? Pay structure refers to the array of pay rates. I repeat, pay structure refers to the array of pay rates for different work or skills within a single organization. Okay, the hierarchical level, what we learned here, okay, at the engineering department of Lockheed Martin. So we call it as, okay, internal structure, okay, or hierarchical levels. And what we're talking here is a pay structure. What amount is paid at each level? Definitely, the same example I will continue to make you understand what is a pay structure. So just pay attention. Pay structure refers to the array of pay rates for different work or skills within a single organization. The number of levels, okay, as here in this case you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 levels in engineering department of Lockheed Martin. So the number of levels, the differentials in pay, between the levels, and the criteria used to determine those differences describe the structure. Okay, so how a structure is designed or determined, it depends on the number of levels. As in Lockheed Martin engineering department, there are 6 levels. The differentials in pay between the levels. Okay, so what is the compensation or salary for engineer? What is the compensation or salary for senior engineer? And what is the difference between them? Okay, so that is the second point. And the third point is the criteria used to determine those differences. So definitely, if the salary of senior engineer is greater than salary of engineer, so that difference amount, what criteria is used to differentiate that salary? So these three elements, number of levels, the differentials in pay between the levels, and the criteria used to determine these differences, define or design a pay structure. Okay, so now let us consider, okay, some related points. Definitely, compensation strategy supports organization strategy. We have learned it. Okay, the compensation strategy is designed in a way to support organization strategy. Means the compensation strategy motivates the employees to work towards the organizational goal and support organization strategy. Okay. Then supports workflow. Okay. Uh, okay. The compensation strategy should support workflow, or the internal alignment should support the workflow. So it is explained here what does it mean by workflow. Workflow is a process by which goods and services are delivered to the customer. So most all of you now are also one of the part of your internship organization study report is workflow. Okay, the process by which goods and services are manufactured and delivered to the customer. The internal alignment should support the workflow. Okay, so it should be faster, as well as the cost should be minimum. Okay, in such a way the internal alignment should be designed. Okay, in that the company will be very efficient, and it motivates behavior. Okay, I think these points we have discussed. Okay, Sharon, can you speak up? Sharon,
Yes, sir.
I think these points are discussed in the previous class, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I gave the example of that workflow, okay, process, where I considered your organization study,
Yes, sir.
right?
Sir.
Then I think I should move on. How about this slide? Okay, I think maybe from here I'm supposed to continue.
Sir, no.
So from here, right?
Yes, sir. You
Yeah,
just
move on.
discussed
Sorry.
level of employees and workers and all. You
This
just
I have
discussed the level of employees and workers, management and all, but this about their payrolls you didn't explain, sir. So from this slide you need to explain, sir.
yes, thank you, thank you. Okay, so the next point that we need to consider is structures vary among organizations. Okay, these internal structures, okay, vary from one company to another company within the industry, as well as they may vary across the industries. Okay, so the simple example given here of Lockheed Martin, within the engineering department there are 6 levels. But whereas one company, GE, General Electric Plastics, okay, is one of the subsidiaries of GE conglomerate. So at GE Plastics, there are less than 4 levels. There are less than 4 levels. So the whole organization structure is consolidated at among approximately 4 levels. Whereas in Lockheed Martin, within just engineering department, there are 6 levels. Okay, so that is what we mean to say. These internal structures vary among organizations and across industries. An internal pay structure can be defined by the number of levels of work. This is what we considered in the definition. Okay, here, I hope you can recall. Number of levels, the differentials in pay between the levels, and the criteria is to determine those differences, describe the structure. I think during the definition, I explained the number of levels of work, pay differentials between the levels. Okay, and what is remaining is criteria or basis used to determine those levels and differentials, which we'll consider later. Then the first part, levels. Pay structure is hierarchical in nature. So I repeat, pay structure is hierarchical in nature. Okay. So it means from the lower level, as you climb up the ladder towards the upper level. Okay. So your pay or compensation goes on increasing. Okay. So from management trainee, say for example, to sales representative, to area sales manager, to regional sales manager, to zonal sales manager, to the general manager sales. Say these are the levels in sales. Okay. So as the level goes on increasing, okay, your pay also goes on increasing, but along with that, your role and responsibilities also increases, and the skills required vary. Say for example, when you are a sales representative, okay, you will need more of selling skills, convincing skills, communication sales skills, interpersonal skills. But once you become area sales manager, okay, you will not have individual sales target. The subordinates who work under you, say let's say there are 10 sales representative are working under you and you are the area sales manager, your target will be, okay, the targets of all 10 subordinates put together will be your target. So you will need to have a different set of skills called the managerial skills or leadership skills. Okay, hence your, okay, the pay structure differs. Okay, hence your pay structure differs. Okay, and salary also goes on increasing as you resume a greater responsibility. Okay, so as I mentioned, the number of levels, okay, differ, okay, from organization to organization and also industry to industry. Okay, so the way I mentioned now of Lockheed Martin engineering department number of levels as well as a GE Plastics. Okay, so there is a variation, okay, in number of levels in both the organizations as well as the reporting relationships. Okay, so say for example, in a sales organization, a sales representative will be reporting to his immediate supervisor or area sales manager. So let's say in my example, there are 10 sales reps working under area sales manager. So all the 10 reps report directly to the area sales manager, and all the area sales manager within a region report to the regional manager, and all the regional managers within a zone report to the zonal manager, and all the zonal managers report to the general manager sales. So these are the reporting relationships which define the internal structure of any organization. Okay, but say if it is a innovation company, say for example Tesla, so such kind of a hierarchy or reporting relationship may not exist. The roles will be more flexible in nature. Okay, and interdepartmental cross functional teams are formed. Okay, and the structure there will be quite flat, we call it quite flat. Okay, then again the pay structure will be different here. So this is in exhibit 3.2, we can see managerial or professional levels at GE Electric Plastics. Okay. So as I mentioned, see this is the internal structure of entire organization. Name of the organization is General Electric Plastics. So in General Electric Plastic, in the entire organization, there are only 5 levels. Okay. So they include executive, director, leadership, technical or managerial, and professional. Okay. So this is from higher to lower end I'm talking. So at the entry level, it is a professional, okay, technical or managerial, leadership, director, and executive. So you can look at the professional level, supervisors and individual contributors working on tasks, activities, and or less complex, shorter duration projects. So in GE Plastics, okay, this is the entry level position, okay, which is referred to as a professional. So in the next hierarchical level, it's technical or managerial staff, who are individual contributors managing projects or programs with a defined scope and responsibility and a first year management of a specialty area. This is the first level of management area. I can say lower level management. So above this level is leadership. Again, individual contributors leading projects or programs with broad scope. The difference between technical and leadership is here also there are individual contributors managing projects or programs with a defined scope, means limited scope, whereas here it has a broader scope and impact. Or managers leading functional components with broad scope and impact. Directors significant functional area or smaller business segment. So as one climbs up the ladder of organization structure in GE Plastics, the role becomes more broader, the scope increases. And at the executive level, that is job description includes provides vision, leadership, and innovation to major business segments or functions. So the number of levels in the entire organization of General Electric Plastics is just 5 levels. Okay, whereas in a Lockheed Martin, an aerospace company, okay, just within one department, okay, just within one department, which is engineering department, there are 6 levels of hierarchies. So this is what we mean to say, okay, that structures vary among organizations, and as structures vary, pay differentials, okay, between the levels also vary, which we are going to consider the example of again Lockheed Martin. Okay, so the second element that defines pay structure is the differentials. Okay, so I'll just take you quickly back to the definition of pay structure. So, see, we are learning what is the pay structure. Pay structure refers to the array of pay rates for different work or skills within a single organization. And what defines a pay structure? The number of levels, the differentials in pay between the levels, and the criteria used to determine those differences describe the structure. So just now we had a discussion on, okay, number of levels in the internal alignment or organization, and now we are going to learn about the differentials in pay between the levels. Okay, so how will be the salary of a lower level employee will be different than his or her next level employee. Okay, so after levels, now differentials. Differential, when I say, okay, in Lockheed Martin engineering department, the salary of a senior engineer will be definitely higher than salary of engineer who is at a lower level. So similarly, if we consider even a university, okay, or a professional educational institute, Okay, the levels will be like, okay, assistant professor, associate professor, and professor. Yes, definitely the salary of associate professor will be greater than assistant professor, and the salary of a professor will be highest. And there is a difference between the salary of assistant professor and associate professor. Similarly, there is a difference between the salary of associate professor and professor. So we this is called as differentials. The pay differences between the levels is referred to as differentials. I hope the meaning is clear. Okay. And pay is determined by, so before we arrive at the differentials, pay is determined by, or salary is determined by knowledge or skills involved. Definitely knowledge or skills involved. Okay. So what knowledge is required to, okay, perform the job in operations or manufacturing? What knowledge or skills are required in design department, engineering department? What knowledge or skills are required in marketing department? Okay, so pay is determined by these knowledge or skills involved in performing a job. And the next criteria, determinant of pay is working conditions. Yes, definitely. Okay. So the conditions under which an employee performs his or her task also determines the pay of that job. Okay. So some jobs that involve high risk, some jobs that involve high risk definitely will carry a higher pay. So those employees who work under very difficult or tough conditions, which can be of hazardous to their health, so these kind of employees definitely get higher pay compared to other employees who work under normal conditions. Okay. So I'd like to recall, okay, there can be many examples. Okay, for example, in a nuclear power plant. Okay, so there are nuclear reactors. Okay, there is a nuclear reactor chamber, and there are employees who work inside the nuclear reactor chamber, and there are chances that they may be exposed to radiation levels. Okay, though precautions are taken care, but yet there is a possibility. So I'm talking about such working conditions. Another, I saw it in Discovery Channel program long back. Okay, so there are, you might have heard about a lineman. Okay, in at least this part of the region, we call them as a lineman. Linemen. Lineman means, okay, an employee from the uh, power department, KPTCL, Karnataka Power Transmission. Okay, or earlier it was KEB, Karnataka Electricity Board. So if there is any electric connection is lost to our home, and if there is any problem with the cable, okay, that lineman will come with a ladder or a vehicle, and he will climb and he will repair. Okay, so definitely a risky job. Okay, such a similar lineman job, okay, which I saw, high tension cables. Okay, if you don't know what is the meaning of high tension cables, okay, where electricity generated. I have visited one plant, a nuclear power plant in Kaiga, Karwar. So from the place of generation of electricity, it is distributed or it is carried to the cities and towns and villages by way of cables. And the cables that are laid, okay, from the power generation plant till the borders of a city are referred to as high tension cables. They carry enormous amount of electric power, and okay, they are, okay, isolated at a very, okay, extreme height, so that nobody should come into contact with that. And I saw there were linemen, okay, in a country I don't remember, repairing those cables. Okay, and the way of repairing was so amazing and adventurous. Okay, there was no other way other than a helicopter. So there was a helicopter which was used to rise to the height of that cable first, and being seated in the helicopter, the pilot has to balance the helicopter so that the rotor or any part of the helicopter should not touch the high tension cable. Then under these circumstances, the lineman or the electrician, okay, with a safety belt hanging onto the helicopter, okay, he would go near the cable and he would repair it. And believe me, there were no special effects. Okay, so I could see the moment the lineman approaches the electric cable, the sparks would, okay, come closer to the electrician or lineman. but he was wearing a safety suit. So imagine such a working conditions. What I mentioned are the extreme condition, but yes, definitely there are extreme working, okay, working conditions which are not, okay, normal. So such employees deserve a higher pay. That's why we say working conditions determine pay. Third determinant of pay is value addition. It's not valued, value addition to the company. So by performing which task, more value is added to the organization. So I'll give a very simple example. Okay, let us consider a university or a professional educational institute. Okay, even if we consider if in our department, okay, so yes, we have teachers and non-teaching staff. Okay, teachers, the clerk, as well as the attender. All three of us come on the same time, 9 o'clock in the morning, and we leave around 5 o'clock in the evening. So all of us spend time, same amount of time, say 8 hours in the department, and all of us work in the same department. But whether the value added by teacher, a clerk, and attender, is it same? I hope no, right? I hope you understand that. Okay, teacher adds value to the learning process of the students. So the highest amount of value is added by teacher in an educational institute. Okay, and the first division assistant or second division assistant or clerk, okay, whatever you call them, or administrative staff, non-teaching staff, and attender, they only support. They provide some supporting services. So pay is determined by knowledge or skills involved, working conditions, and value addition to the company. Okay, and what is the objective or intention of these differentials? Why the salary of associate professor is more than assistant professor, or why the salary of professor is more than associate professor? Okay, or why the salary of a senior engineer is greater than engineer? The objective is to motivate people to strive for promotion. So I repeat, the differences between the salaries at two levels is to motivate people to strive for promotion to a higher paying level. So an assistant professor should work hard, acquire the eligible qualification like let us say PhD, and strive to get promoted for associate professor. An associate professor should engage into more of research and consultancy and strive to get promoted as a professor. Okay, so this way the objective or intention of the differences pay differences between the levels is to motivate employees to strive for promotion to a higher paying level. Okay, so with this slide I will conclude for today, and then I'll take attendance. See, this is what you can see here. So those on your mobile phone, if it is not visible, I will read it out for you. Okay, before this slide, I'll just take you back again to the formal definition of pay structure. The number of levels, the differentials in pay between the levels, and the criteria used to determine those differences describe the structure. So we have already learned the number of levels, and now we are learning the differentials in pay between the levels. That is what example I would like to show you here. So this is the differentials in pay between the levels. So these were the 6 levels within the engineering department of Lockheed Martin: engineer, senior engineer, systems engineer, lead engineer, advisor engineer, and consultant engineer. 6 levels within a single department of Lockheed Martin. Okay, so now let us look at the annual salary in dollars. Okay, so this is in annual salary in dollars. At the entry level, an engineer will get $52,000 per annum. Cost to company you can consider $52,000 as compensation per annum. Senior engineer will get $63,000 per annum. Okay, so the difference in pay differential. Okay, this word I have been referring. Okay, differentials or pay differences. Okay, you can view it here. It is live. It is illustrated. The pay differences between the engineer and senior engineer is $11,000 per annum, which is approximately 21%. Now, similarly, the systems engineer is paid a salary of $78,000 per annum, and the difference between lower level senior engineer and systems engineer is $15,000, and in percentage, the pay difference is about 24% difference. Next level, lead engineer is paid a compensation of $98,000 per annum, and compared to systems engineer, it is $20,000 more per annum. And the pay difference in percentage is about 26% difference. And next level is advisor engineer is paid 125,000, means $1,25,000 per annum. Okay, and compared to lead engineer, he gets $27,000 extra pay per annum, which is approximately 28%. Then finally, consultant engineer is paid a salary of 162,000, means $1,62,000 per annum. Okay, so which is $37,000 more than advisor engineer. So the pay difference in percentage is 30%. Okay, so this is what exactly I am talking about, all the three determinants of pay structure. So I'll take you back to the definition of pay structure. Pay structure refers to the array of pay rates for different work or skills within a single organization. Remember the last slide of Lockheed Martin. The number of levels, the differentials in pay between the levels, which I just explained or illustrated, and the criteria used to determine those differences, describe the structure. Okay, so we have learned so far number of levels and the differentials. In next class, we'll learn about the criteria used to determine those differences. Means, okay, why the salary difference between an engineer and senior engineer is 21%. What criteria is used here? Okay, so this we'll consider in next class. Okay, so first I'll take attendance, and if time remains, I'll go for questions and answers. Kindly you need to hurry, okay? Because there is some problem with the recording now if the meeting ends on its own. Sharon and Prema, please help me. Aishwarya,
Present, sir.
Akshay Kulkarni, Ankita,
Present, sir.
Apeksha,
Present, sir.
Present, sir.
Arpita,
Present, sir.
Absent.
Ashutosh,
Present, sir.
Ashwini,
Present, sir.
Sir.
Present, sir.
Geeta,
Yes, sir.
Present, sir.
Geetanjali,
Present, sir.
Meghna Kalburgi.
Kalaburgi.
Present, sir.
Yeah, Meghna Lokhande,
Yes, sir.
Present, sir.
Nagaratna,
Present, sir.
Navya,
Yes, sir.
Nidhi,
Yes, sir.
Nikita,
Present, sir.
Pooja,
Yes, sir.
Pranjali.
Sir, she's facing network problem, sir.
Yeah, no problem. She had joined. Prema,
Present, sir.
Priya,
Present, sir.
Varsha,
Present, sir.
Present,
Samuel,
present, sir.
Present, sir.
Sharan,
Present, sir.
Sharayu,
Present, sir.
Shilpa,
Shilpa Munnolli. Absent, sir.
Absent, sir.
okay, Shreya,
Present, sir.
Present, sir.
present. Then Srinidhi,
Present, sir.
Shweta,
Okune absent, sir.
absent. Okay, then Snehal,
Present, sir.
Suchitra,
Present, sir. Absent,
Absent,
sir.
sir.
Maruf,
Present, sir.
present.
Maruf is present, sir.
Yes, thank you. Vaishnavi,
Present, sir.
yes, present.
Present.
Yeah, present. Arpita is absent, right?
Yes, sir.
And Akshay Kulkarni. Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay. So any questions you have on today's discussion? Pay structure. See, one definition you can answer for 10 marks. Imagine. If I say define pay structure for 10 marks, it is possible. 3 elements of the pay structure you have to explain. 2 of them we have learned. One more next will criteria in pay differentials we'll learn in next class. Any questions from students?
No, sir.
Okay, so are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll just end this class. I will not schedule next meeting for remaining 15 minutes. Okay, so this will be end of it. Before we end, let me share a small joke. 1 minute. There are some students in chat box. Shilpa present, Samuel present, Nikita present. Okay. Then Ashwini is present. Ashwini, 1 minute. Yeah, Ashwini is present. Ankita, Geetanjali, Shilpa, all are present. Yes, no problem. See if you can recall the semester 1 joke if I told you. Okay. Father goes to purchase a pet, PET pet. Okay, it's a bird for his son's birthday. So he says, how much is the salary for this parrot? He says 10,000 rupees because it types and it does MS Office work. Remember? Then he asks for another parrot. It costs you 20,000 rupees. What it does? Okay. He says it is excellent in communication. Okay, it can manage your entire work. And one more parrot he asks 50,000 rupees. He says what special? Okay, what is the specialty of this parrot? He says honestly it does nothing, but I have heard the other two parrots often calling him boss. Okay. So joke